Welcome to the 3M Industrial Placement Podcast. My name is James. With me is Daniel.
So cheesy.
Nice to be here.
And Simon.
Hello.
Well, basically we are three industrial placements currently on our placement year here at 3M. I go to Lancaster University studying management and I'm in the HR department here. Daniel?
Yeah, I go to Reading University and I'm a marketer for European Building and Commercial Services.
I go to Surrey University, clearly the best, and I work for Systems Engineering Laboratories.
So first of all, thought we'd just discuss the application process. So first things first was the actual application itself, going on the website through to the Taleo system, filling out an application form, attaching your CV, answering a few questions, and then after that was the psychometric test. So you and I, Dan, we did it online, didn't we?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I've got after the initial part where you send a CV, fill out the questions, etc. If they want to take the process further, I believe we've got an email saying we've accepted you at the first stage. Yeah. We'd like to invite you to take 2 tests, and it takes you
numerical and verbal, was it?
Correct. Yeah, numerical and verbal.
You did it a bit differently, Simon, didn't you?
I did. I went through the same application online, I believe, but then because I was so close, they came to my uni, I guess, and I had proper tests in the room.
Just for you? You were the only person there?
Oh, no. There was management, there was engineering, and yeah, we all got put in a room and had test conditions and stuff. And it was pretty serious. Some of the tests were pretty hard.
That's interesting though, because I you say because you're close, but I'm at Reading and I didn't even bother.
I mean, yeah, and I'm just up the road in Lancaster. So
yeah, I know.
Surprising.
With proximity like that, James, I find it hard to believe that they didn't come and visit you.
Well, I had not only tests but interviews on the same day from Amy as well. So
really, did you not have a telephone interview then?
No. Speaking of which, we move on to the telephone interview.
Yeah. If you get past the first couple of hurdles.
Yeah. You're on to the third hurdle, which is the telephone interview, which I found pretty daunting initially. I did quite a bit of preparation for it, to be honest with you. I wrote down a few things that I might say and had my CV in front of me. But when it came down to it, they're more than nice on the phone. They're quite paternalistic and they make sure that they relax you initially, so you when you're answering their questions, you are yourself and you're not sort of all tense.
They sort of started off with a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
It was around that time when we had that really bad snow, so it's just a bit of a chat about
it. It gives you some talking points, gets you...
yeah.
But saying that, don't fall into the trap of them becoming too casual, because, I mean, they are assessing your professionalism.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to just pretend as if they're your friend straight away. You still need to come across as someone who can do the job that they're looking for.
I'd say one of the most important parts is definitely having a good telephone manner. Because there's so many students who probably just pick up the phone like, "Oh, mate," and just straight away like, "I'm going." You know, you've not got the job. And once you're here, we kind of do that all the time when we speak to people, I guess.
Yeah, but when you're here, it's fine because you're within the culture. Whereas I mean, you're not. We are being assessed. I mean, this is pretty much a 12-month interview, but you're assessed initially on that telephone interview. And
but at the same time, the first time I spoke to someone that I didn't know in a company, I wouldn't call them mate.
No.
When you build up a relationship with people, it's fine to...
And even if you're talking to them casually at the start of the telephone interview, by no means are you suddenly in that zone where you can talk to them casually.
Yeah, you've not got that sort of rapport built up quite
sadly yet. Not, no. Well, some people do. But HR.
I just thought say it's good to, like you say, it's good to have some preparation and things to say and think about. I think it's really important to think about like past experiences you've had and how you can relate them to working in because even if you've only had a part-time job like I had, like I work at Ted Baker and a few other retail jobs, they still ask you a lot about that, and there's definitely experiences you can bring from things like that to working in a job. Even if if you haven't had a part-time job, then if you've had like group roles at university, like I got asked quite a bit about that. When if you worked as part of a team or group, and just give examples of that.
That is generally what the telephone interview is. It's basically a series of competency-based questions, so asking you when you've been in a team, when you've had to make a decision based on certain data, when you've had to change your mind or go back on something when you were almost completed it initially. So there's a lot of things that they're quite difficult to think of, and you will have to think of on your feet, but the best thing you can do is just prepare as much as you can, get as much down in front of you. But I would say one thing, don't feel panicked straight away as soon as they ask you a question. If you don't know the answer, don't suddenly rush in and start making stuff up. Just compose yourself, calm down, take your time. They're not expecting you to bite back straight away.
In my interview, actually, Amy asked me a question, and I was halfway through giving an answer, and I just said, "Oh, can I scrap that because it was awful."
That's really interesting. Because I was about to say the exact same thing. I started answering too quickly, And I said, do you know what, forget that, can I start again? She was like, fine, take your time, yeah. So there's really not an issue of doing that, but it would have been better if we paused before that than to...
And also do research on the company. They love it when you know stuff about them.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse.
I'm not expected to be an expert, but just basic stuff about the company is really good to know.
Well, actually, we might as well move on to the assessment centre.
Do you want to start off with
your
day? What did you do?
Well, so, I mean, mine was an all-day thing. What was your... Yeah, so, but saying that, the first part of the day, so up until lunch, pretty much was getting to know 3M, getting to go around the Innovation Centre. We didn't actually have to do anything too major. Getting to know the other candidates as well. So we all knew each other. We all got on quite well. And I think that sidetrack a little bit, that's quite important to 3M. You very much... If you get on with people, you do fit in here. I mean, that's very much prioritised here, that you are easy to get on with, you're good working in a team, you're friendly. You network with so many different people here that you have to be able to get on with people, and if that's a characteristic you possess, then 3M would definitely want you here.
Good train.
Back to where I was, I think, and then...
So up until lunch, literally up until lunch.
Literally up until lunch, had lunch, talked to other IP students, currently on their IPs, the ones that have just left before us.
Yes.
Talk to them about the job, the roles, things like that. Get to know 3M. They all loved it. That was quite a good system because they were all great ambassadors for 3M because they all were saying how much they loved working here.
Yeah.
And then after lunch was done, didn't get necessarily busy. That's what I liked about it. It was all very relaxed to the point where you still had to be professional. You could have a good time. It wasn't really if you're under stress. We had to work on presentations, but we worked on them like together. It wasn't necessarily
as a group presentation. Did you?
No, it wasn't a group presentation, but we didn't all go work in a single room with each other. We all worked.
What did you present on?
Well, we had to present an idea to increase 3M's brand awareness around universities.
Okay. What did you do? Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, I honestly can't remember, but it was stuff like...
If anyone's listening, this is valuable insight. Yeah. Because you obviously did get the job.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the ideas I had was have a 3M COD session, something like that, where they could go and 3M would host it and people could come play COD, and like if some other of the IPs went, then if they were good at COD or something like that, they could have a go at with students and stuff like that, where it's something that isn't just telling people about 3M, it's getting people to know the employees here at 3M, and I think that's one of the most important things.
So we're implementing that this year while you're here?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you've mainly been working on, isn't it?
That's why there's that 100-inch screen downstairs.
Excellent.
What about you?
So that was it, that was the day, was it then?
There was a few other things. I had a couple of 15-minute interviews with two managers just to get to know them, and had to verify our psychometric test that we talked about earlier.
Well, mine wasn't as relaxed as yours. It was a bit busier, but purely because one of the candidates turned up about an hour and a half late.
Good stuff.
This is going to annoy you. You got the job as well.
Really?
Yeah. Lives in our house even.
I know. You have to tell me.
Yeah. So it was a bit more rushed when
Can I just ask why they were late?
It was traffic.
I've heard that one before.
We've all heard that one before, right? I think, I'm a student, I don't want to get up at 10 a.m.
You can't be telling them this, that you can turn up an hour and a half late and still get the job.
You will live in evidence of that. You can do that every day.
Not still got the job, mate.
No, that's true. Although he was late on the first day here, wasn't he?
You were late on the first day.
That was a sign of things to come, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, what
you need to finish.
What we did, I think we did plan to do tour of the Innovation Centre, etc. But like I say, we didn't have time.
So she ruined the day for you,
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say she.
Yeah. Okay, and then we had a couple of presentations from the managers and two of the IPs that the roles would be replacing. And that's just get to know a little bit more about the businesses, because there are two jobs on offer, which one we prefer to work to and stuff. So it's just sort of the roles they've been involved in, and the managers give us a general overview of the projects we'd probably be doing, what the business is about, etc. And after that, in groups, we had half an hour to prepare a presentation to present in front of the managers and IPs.
Yeah.
And it was on, what did we do? Each of us got given a blank, well, not, I was about to say blank card, but it wasn't. It was a card, and on the other side, there was like a name of a charity on it, and we had to put forward a case for which charity we wanted to present. So we had to discuss which one we wanted to do first. And then we had to present the idea to the managers and IPs. The next part of the day was, I think straight after that, it was lunch. And then after that, we had 2 interviews. So I had one with each of the managers, half an hour set aside, but it doesn't take too long. which, to be honest, they weren't too bad, because at that point, after the start of the day, you've already got yourself in a good position. I think for me, the biggest, the most important part of the day was the group project, because it shows how you interact with other people, and as James said, that's one of the fundamental parts of working for 3M.
Yeah.
Is being able to, you know, talk to people, interact, and work together really well. So that part of the day, managers got a good idea in their mind of what they think of you. So my interviews were basically just a chat. And then, like I said, we had to put forward a presentation as well, so we were working on it throughout the afternoon.
Yeah.
There were several questions you could have done. They weren't really they weren't necessarily work related. I think the one I chose to do is sport important in our lives? So I just had to present that in front of all the managers. But yeah, I can't remember what the other questions were, but none of them are directly business related.